All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're breaking down the MACD impulse system. It's a really powerful strategy that's designed to give momentum traders a serious edge in the market.
You know the feeling, right? If you've ever tried momentum trading, you know the market can feel like just a whirlwind of noise. So the big question is, how do you find the real signal in all of that chaos?
Well, the secret lies in a system that doesn't just look at price. Instead, it looks at the forces behind the price. It's all about identifying the underlying trend and then measuring the power that's actually driving it forward. And when you can see both of those things clearly, believe me, the chaos starts to look a lot more like a pattern. So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about using the MACD for momentum. Then we'll dig into the core tools, lay out the system's blueprint, and talk about how to find your entry and, just as important, master your exit. And finally, we'll touch on that last secret ingredient, discipline. Look, let's be honest, momentum trading takes an incredible amount of discipline, but having a good system can give you the structure you really need. The Moving Average Convergence Divergence, or MACD, is an amazing indicator that helps us measure shifts in a trend's strength and direction, giving us those crucial signals for making smart decisions. Okay, so this whole system, it really boils down to two key ideas, inertia and momentum. And understanding how these two work together, well, that's the key to unlocking a whole new way of seeing the market. First up, we've got inertia. Just picture a massive ocean liner. It's the market's main direction, this big, heavy force that takes a long time to change course. We measure this with an exponential moving average, the EMA, which smartly gives more weight to recent prices. So when that EMA is rising, inertia is on the bull side. When it's falling, the bears are in control. And then there's momentum. If inertia is the ship's direction, momentum is the power coming from its engine. Is it speeding up or slowing down? We measure this force with the MACD histogram. When those histogram bars get taller, it means the trend is accelerating. The bulls or bears are really hitting the gas. Here's probably the best way to think about it. Inertia is like the tide, that deep, powerful underlying current. Momentum, that's the wave on top. For a really powerful trade, you absolutely need that wave moving with the tide. That alignment, it's everything. So, this brings us to the blueprint itself, which was developed by Dr. Alexander Elder. He called it the impulse system, and it's a truly brilliant way of combining inertia and momentum into one simple, actionable trading rule. And this right here is the absolute heart of the entire strategy. It's so simple, but that's what makes it so powerful. A valid entry signal only happens when the tide and the wave are moving together. The EMA has to be rising and the MACD histogram has to be rising for a buy signal. And for a short signal, both have to be falling. No exceptions. Okay, so how do we actually put this into practice? Let's take this theory and see how it translates into a real 2-time-frame process for spotting those high-probability trades. This is where it gets fun. It's a 2-step dance, really. First, you zoom way out. You look at the weekly chart to figure out the market's dominant trend. That's the tide. You only want to be swimming in the direction of that long-term trend. Then, and only then, you zoom into your daily chart and patiently wait for an entry signal that lines up with that bigger picture. So let's get specific on the tools. For that long-term big picture trend, we're using a 26-week EMA and the MACD histogram all on the weekly chart. Then, for our actual entry, we dial into the daily chart, where we use a faster 13-day EMA and a standard MACD. And this table just pulls it all together. It couldn't be clearer, right? For a buy signal, you need green lights all the way across the board. The weekly trend is rising, the daily EMA is rising, and the daily MACD histogram is rising. For short, everything's got to be falling. It's all about total alignment. Now listen up, because this part is absolutely critical. Finding a great entry is only half the battle. The logic for getting out of a trade is completely different. Where entry requires patience and confirmation, the exit, that requires speed and decisiveness. I just love this quote. It says, "You must remember to step off the momentum train before it reaches the station." It's so vivid, isn't it? Momentum trading isn't about riding a trend until it completely dies out. It's about capturing the most powerful part of the move. You have to get off the train while it's still moving fast, not when it's already pulling into the station. And here is the rule that makes that happen.
Remember how you needed 2 indicators on the daily chart to get in? Well, to get out, you only need one of them to turn against you. The second either your daily EMA or your daily MACD histogram stops confirming the trend, the signal's gone. It's time to exit, period. And this is what makes the system so smart. It has this brilliant asymmetry built right in. You have to be patient to enter, waiting for that perfect alignment, but you have to be aggressive to exit, triggered simply by the removal of that alignment. This is so important for protecting your capital, because momentum gains can disappear in a flash. So, we've laid out the rules, the tools, and all the logic. But even the most perfect system in the world is totally useless without the final and most human ingredient. The system is your map. It's fantastic. It gives you clear, objective signals. It tells you exactly when the odds are in your favor to get in, and it tells you when it's time to get out. But here's the thing it can't give you. The map can't make you follow the route. That part, that's on you. The discipline to actually wait for that perfect setup and the quickness to act immediately when the exit signal flashes, that's what really separates a successful trader from a frustrated one. So there you have it. This system gives you a clear, logical framework for navigating the markets. The blueprint is right here in front of you. The real question is, are you ready to take it and build something with it?